Okay, so I'm sharing a grounding and body awareness exercise with you as something to prepare you to move into voice work. So I'm going to do this seated. So if you find yourself a chair and just shuffle forward to the edge of your seat so that you're supporting your own spine to be erect without the back of the chair right behind you. Your feet are flat on the floor, and I'm just making sure that my feet are hip width apart. So just really taking a second to feel into the sitting bones and find that comfy spot. And I am letting my arms just gently come forward and rest. So I'm in a nice neutral position. You can have your hands on knees or palms facing up the way, which is also quite nice to promote relaxation and to have a little bit more of an opening sensation here. So whatever feels most comfortable in the way that you're not going to be thinking about what's going on. You're just in a neutral resting position. So just take a moment here to really feel into the chair that you're sitting on, sensation and the contact against the material, the strength and support of the structure underneath you, and how your form is interacting with that. Any barriers to that initial connection, just give yourself the opportunity to take your awareness to the sitting bones, to the hips, to the coccyx, around the base of the spine. Just about bringing our awareness to that particular part of the body. Supporting this further by beginning to integrate your awareness of breath and what breath is doing, how breath is supporting you in this neutral, relaxed, open chair posture. Encouraging that nice, easy, resting rhythm with an emphasis of the in-breath going through the nose and the out-breath through the mouth. So just emulating that breathing approach that we are employing when we're vocalizing, and just finding a comfortable pace with that feels that it's supporting you, nourishing you. We're not introducing too much effort into the breath at this point, we're just connecting. So from this position, start to bring your attention down the body, down, down, down to the feet. And we're beginning to consider grounding our awareness, grounding our energy. Using this as an opportunity to decompress and to come away from the mental processing space and thinking about our feet, the spread of our toes, flat on the floor. And now with your specific flavour your personal touch to your visualization, we're imagining that we have roots coming out of the soles of our feet. So if that has a certain colour or texture that comes to mind, just go with that. Trust your instincts and the images that come through for you with this intention of extending energy from within the body, guiding and directing that out through the soles of the feet and down into the floor, guiding that further through the layers of the floor beneath you, pushing down through foundations in the building into the surface of the earth, penetrating all of these different layers. So just follow that sensation and quality of deepening and extending, securing, stabilizing, grounding, and we're just taking that journey downward, also feeling those roots that are making their way down, also starting to spread laterally, creating more stability, building networks and relationships with other structures to give us a real sense that we are steadfast in our energy, that we are supported. So just bringing in any additional visualizations that are relevant to your personal practice, perhaps your spiritual reference point, anything that's going to help anchor and add significance or meaning to this process. We're trying to build a relationship with this space beneath us and become comfortable with the idea that it is actually something that is supporting us, nourishing us. And we want to create a sense of security and comfort here as well, that this is a place that we can return to again, just momentarily when we feel that we need a check-in point and a sense of tangible solidity, or perhaps in a more accommodating way for our energy when we're feeling a bit frenetic, a bit stressed, as if we're kind of floating away or starting to spiral with stress or unhelpful thinking patterns. This can be a really great way just to stop for a second, to come into the body, and then to move our focus and attention downwards and start to ground. So there's no limit really to how long you can spend here. It's a matter of personal choice, a matter of how easily you find it to connect with your imagination, moving into this space. But getting to some kind of goalpost or point where you feel stabilized and supported, and there may be subtle physiological cues that are going to help you identify when you've reached this point. For me right now, I am really connected to my feet, and I'm feeling tingling and warmth in the toes and the soles of the feet. I'm really connected and aware of the circulatory system in the feet right now, and just continuing to sense that relationship between my body and the floor beneath me. So this feels like a good place for me to work from. And now I'm just inviting the breath to be part of this process of deepening my awareness of body and my sense of my internal space, my relationship between my internal space and the space that I am sitting in. So inviting the breath to be the vehicle through which I explore that. So you might want to bring your hands over the belly, thinking about where the belly button is, making sure that there's some sense of awareness just below there. Don't need to be too focused on specific points. This is just simply to draw more attention to this space, and so that we get a bit of physical feedback when we start to engage in a deeper breath. So I'm gonna just move forward a little bit. This chair has arms, and I don't want my arms to come up to the point that it's creating any additional tension or constriction around the shoulders. So I'm just gonna ensure that my elbows are nice and dropped here. And starting to increase the depth of my breath in through the nose. Just gently drawing in, feeling that expansion. Really making that discernment about where the breath is. Is it shallow? Can I in fact invite it to move down, for it to have a greater capacity? Can I connect with my breath in this space? And just getting to that point of feeling that the container that's holding the breath is just starting to overflow, and just rolling into a release on the out breath through the mouth. So this nice sensation of filling up, overflowing into the out breath, so that it's a nice shape, almost like a wave. The base of the wave building, coming to a peak and a crescendo, and then releasing. So just really nice and natural, but continuing just to gently stretch and gently tease open a bit more capacity, a bit more depth, using that as a way of helping shape a process of deeper relaxation as we are becoming more connected, more aware, naturally moving into a space where we feel more centered and therefore more embodied. There's more energy, there's more breath, there's more life force that's being given permission to really move within our vessel. And just with that idea of more breath or more energy, can we start to carry that visualization forward into the out breath as well, that there's this nourishment, and then on the out breath we're able to share that capacity, we're able to share that energy. And can we include that sharing as part of the relaxation process? Can that be potentially a barrier that we break down, where on the exhale, rather than the sense of contraction and withholding and hiding that can often come very subconsciously and in a kind of involuntary way when we realize that we're giving energy, that we're offering a part of ourselves, can we start to change our frame of mind around that so that it's actually a continuation of this nourishment, that there's actually some benefit and some further relaxation that comes from that process of giving oneself permission to release without inhibition. So just with every stage here, we're adding a little more and we're extending and deepening the possibility of what is essentially a really simple exercise, but one that has the potential to be really powerful and offer lots of benefits as we're exploring these different avenues of breath, of support, of body awareness, of visualization, and starting to get a sense of, you know, how comfortable do I feel? How empowered do I feel to move into this space with a little more depth? And then we can take this one step further whilst we're nice and grounded, thinking about where are we sourcing the quality of that in-breath from? How can we deepen this sense of nourishment and stability? Can we invite that to come from this space of support that we've created beneath us? So can we drop our mind back into the feet, back into the roots, back into this multitude of layers that are beneath us, and actually start to think about drawing the breath up very slowly, getting a sense of being able to practice this slow, controlled breath. And then that release that just naturally wants to come. So I think it's good to give yourself the opportunity here to connect with, we're still going for this fluidity, with the sense of one movement that evolves through different stages, but just giving the brain a chance to dissect different elements of this. For example, focusing just on that quality of integrating the in-breath. The out-breath is naturally going to follow on from that, and then maybe we change the focus of our perspective to where we are directing the out-breath and the quality of that. And then perhaps we think about both of those stages and their components a little bit further down the line. So it's just giving a chance for these different spaces to be heard and acknowledged, and for you to be able to work within them and support them for yourself. And depending on what is going on for you energetically, you'll be getting that feedback as you go along throughout, so you will be more deeply connecting with the sense of what are my energy levels like, and you know, where is my headspace today, and on that emotional spectrum as well, what's coming up for me. Is anything being stirred or agitated by this process of working with the breath, working with relaxation? Perhaps there are things that are kind of sitting in the back that are starting to come forward as you start to work with your energy in a more engaged way. And that goes for, you know, these other elements as well. It's working with breath is incredibly personal, and whatever your reference points are, and if you're integrating this into a form of spiritual practice, there might be things coming up there as well. So just giving yourself that quality of space so that you do have an opportunity to meet those parts, and then moving into dissecting them a bit if that feels helpful, but there is no requirement for you to do that unless you were starting to build from this foundation into thinking about, okay, what do I want to do with the breath, and am I going to start working with a breath that relates to strengthening, or am I going to start working with a breath that relates to isolating certain areas in the body that we want to kind of bring attention to. So that is what I want to share with that. And in terms of coming out of the practice, again, just following your instincts on that. What are you being guided to do? What feels right for you? If you are feeling really tired as a result of doing this, that's maybe a good indication that your overall like core energy and battery levels need a bit of attention and support. Coming into a gentle relaxation exercise can often make you feel tired, and for me personally, when I do notice that, then that is a good indication for me that I need to be taking a bit more care, and maybe then adjusting, okay, what am I going to do with the rest of my time? Maybe I reduce the effort in my explorations with voice accordingly, based on what feedback I'm getting. So just to mention that. And otherwise, just gently transitioning out of that space. You could be making that decision to reverse your awareness of not necessarily cutting that cord and losing that connection, because that feels supportive, but you know, coming back into the chair, reorienting yourself with the space that you're in, just starting to make connection again with your extremities, just to ensure that you are feeling grounded in this space, that you've maybe gone way down and that feels like a nice space to be in. But you know, how can we ensure that we're bringing the wisdom from that space into this physical space as well, so that you can go about the rest of your day and integrate that, and ensuring that you're present, that there's no disconnect or disassociation going on if that's something that you're prone to experience. So yeah, if there are any questions, I'd be really happy to hear from you, and maybe you've tried this practice, maybe you've got your own twist on it. It'd be great to hear how it works for you, and yeah, we'll see you soon with some more updates and tools that I'd be happy to share. Take care.